Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're switching gears a little bit. We're moving away from, poring over financial statements, and instead we're going to be looking at something that's really make or break for any financial advisor out there, especially in a competitive market. Let's say, for example, Logan, Australia.
Yeah, it might seem a little out there to be focusing on something like web design when we're talking about, serious financial advice. But trust me, it's all connected.
For sure. And luckily, we found a great resource to help us break this all down, an article from Site Design and Now W. Now they're a company that actually builds websites for financial advisors. A lot of their clients are actually in the Logan area. And they put together this great piece on, what are the essential features of a website that can really make or break a financial advisor's presence online.
Yeah, and I like that you said break it down, because I think that's really what we're going to try to do here. Really get to the core of what makes a website work in this industry. Especially when we're talking about finance, where trust is so important.
Totally. And that's exactly what we're hoping to do today. So whether you're someone who's thinking about hiring a financial advisor, or maybe you are one yourself, or honestly, you're just curious about, how good web design can build trust, this deep dive is for you.
Absolutely. And one of the first things that Site Design NRW really emphasizes is that a financial advisor's website, it's not just like an online business card. It's more than that. It's really like their digital storefront. It's working 24/7 to reflect their expertise and how they build relationships with clients.
Yeah, it's kind of like that feeling you get when you walk into a store that's really well put together.
Yeah.
Everything's where it should be. It's clean. It's inviting you. Immediately feel like, okay, I can trust this place.
That's a great analogy. And just like you wouldn't trust a store that was, messy and disorganized, you're probably not going to feel good about trusting a financial advisor whose website is, clunky or cluttered or doesn't even explain what they do.
Yeah, and that actually brings us to the first key feature that Site Design NLW talks about: clarity. They really emphasize this idea of having clear and detailed descriptions of the services that an advisor offers.
And I think that's huge, because put yourself in the shoes of someone looking for financial advice, maybe for the first time ever, and they land on a website and it's just full of jargon and these vague descriptions. I mean, are you going to feel confident handing over your hard-earned money to someone who can't even explain what they do?
Oh, absolutely not. I'd be out of there so fast.
Exactly. And so how do you make sure that your website is clear and understandable? Well, Site Design NLW, they give some great tips. But I think the main thing is to really just use plain language, break down those complex ideas into bite-sized pieces, and avoid all that industry jargon as much as possible.
It's about making sure that you're meeting your potential client where they are. You don't want them to feel lost or intimidated, especially if they're already feeling a little bit overwhelmed by their finances.
Exactly. The goal is to make people feel informed and empowered, not confused and stressed. And once you have that foundation of clarity, then you can start to think about, okay, how do we actually build in some elements that are going to engage the visitor and make them want to stick around?
Yeah. And that's where you start to get into interactive tools, which Site Design NW brings up as a great way to really get people involved, giving them some value right off the bat. Things like financial calculators or quizzes that let people explore different scenarios and see how different decisions might actually play out in their lives.
It's almost like giving them a sneak peek into what it would be like to work with you as an advisor. Like, say you're curious about planning for retirement. You could play around with a retirement calculator on the site. And suddenly you're starting to visualize your future. You're understanding how much you might need to save to reach your goals. It's engaging, it's informative, and it positions the advisor as that helpful guide.
Yeah. It's like a free trial of their expertise. It shows that they're not just interested in making a quick buck. They actually want to educate and empower potential clients.
And that really plays into this next idea of providing valuable content. And this is where Site Design NW talks about the importance of downloadable resources.
Oh, okay. So things like ebooks or guides or even just checklists that people can grab from the website.
Yeah, exactly. Think about it from the perspective of someone trying to make a big financial decision for the first time. Maybe they're trying to figure out how to invest or, wrap their head around superannuation, and then they find this really well-written guide that just lays it all out in simple terms.
Oh, man, that would be such a relief.
Exactly. And it makes the advisor look good, too, right? Like, they get it. They understand these are the things people are struggling with.
Yeah, it's like saying, hey, I know this can be confusing, so here's some free information to help you out. No pressure or anything.
Exactly. It builds trust by just demonstrating that expertise and a genuine desire to help, even before someone becomes a client.
Okay, but let's say the website has all these great resources and tools. People are still going to want to know, can this advisor actually walk the walk right? And that's where this idea of social proof comes in, something that Site Design and now W also really emphasizes.
For sure. I mean, think about it. Let's say you're trying to pick a new restaurant. Are you more likely to be swayed by some fancy description on the menu or by what actual people are saying in the reviews?
Reviews all the way. I want to hear from real people, not some marketing spiel.
Exactly. It's the same with financial advisors. Testimonials from clients who've had a good experience. That's powerful stuff, especially if they sound genuine and, relatable.
Yeah, Site Design and No W actually makes a good point about that they say the best testimonials tell a story. It's not just, this advisor is great. It's more like, I was struggling with this specific thing and this advisor helped me achieve this specific goal.
Right. Those are the kind of testimonials that really make you think, hey, that person sounds like me. Maybe this advisor could help me too.
It makes the advisor seem more human, more approachable,
Definitely. It's not just about their qualifications or experience. It's about connecting with people on an emotional level, showing that you understand their struggles and can help them get to where they want to be.
So, okay, we've got a website that's clear. It's engaging. It's informative. It's got that social proof. What happens when someone's ready to actually take that next step and reach out to the advisor?
Well, you definitely don't want to make them jump through hoops at that point. Site Design and Now W, they talk about the importance of seamless online booking. This is where the whole user experience really comes into play.
Right, because I can imagine if you're feeling motivated to actually reach out and then you have to dig around the website to find a phone number or an email address, that could be a total momentum killer.
It absolutely is. It's all about reducing any friction, making it as easy as possible for someone to take that next step. Picture this. You're on the website, you've read the testimonials, you're feeling good, and bam, there's a big clear button that says, book a free consultation.
That's way more appealing than having to hunt down contact info and send some awkward email, and then just wait around hoping they even reply.
Yeah, a smooth online booking system, it shows that the advisor values their client's time. It makes them look organized and efficient. It's a subtle thing, but it makes a big difference.
And one thing that's interesting is that because Site Design and No W is based in Logan, they specifically talk about the importance of optimizing for local engagement. So what does that actually look like on a website?
It's about going a step further than just listing your address and phone number on the contact page. It's about really becoming a part of that community, showing potential clients that you understand the specific financial challenges and opportunities that people in Logan are facing.
So maybe mentioning local events or sponsoring local businesses or even just highlighting case studies from people in the area.
Yeah, exactly. Think about the businesses you trust in your own community. A lot of times it's the ones that are really actively involved who show they care about the people they serve. And it's the same with financial advisors.
It's that local connection that we're in this together feeling.
And all of this, the clarity, the engagement, the social proof, the local focus, it all has to come together in a package that's actually, visually appealing and user-friendly. Which is why Site Design N2W also talks about the importance of just straight-up web design.
Right, because no matter how good the content is, if the website's slow or it's clunky or looks like it was built in the 90s.
Exactly. A modern, well-designed website, it sends a message, right? It says, I'm professional, I'm up to date, I care about giving you a good experience.
And think about your own browsing habits. How much time do you really give a website to load before you just get impatient and move on?
Not much these days. Especially in today's world where we're used to things happening instantly. If a website is slow or hard to use, people are just going to bounce.
And that's a missed opportunity for the advisor.
Absolutely. So a well-designed website, it should be responsive. It should adjust to different screen sizes, whether you're on a desktop, a laptop, a tablet, or a phone.
It should load quickly, be easy to get around, and just have a clear visual flow so people can easily find what they're looking for.
And it should look good, too. Think about a bookstore, with nicely organized shelves, good lighting, a comfortable atmosphere. It makes you want to browse and spend time there.
It's about creating that same kind of positive user experience online. From the moment someone clicks on the website.
Yeah, it all goes back to, building trust, showing potential clients that you understand them and respect their time.
So after unpacking all of this, what does this all actually mean for, let's say, someone out there who's looking for a financial advisor right now? Or even for an advisor who's thinking, maybe it's time to give my website a little bit of a refresh.
That's a great question. I think the biggest takeaway for me is that you just can't underestimate the power of a good website these days. It's often the very first impression someone's going to have of you, and we all know those first impressions, they really matter.
Oh, for sure. You never get a second chance to make a first impression right.
Exactly. So whether you're out there searching for an advisor or you are one yourself, start taking a look at those websites with a more critical eye. Ask yourself some questions.
Like, okay, does the website actually explain what the advisor does? In plain English that I can understand.
Are there any tools or resources I can use to, learn more about financial planning in general, or get a feel for how this advisor approaches things?
Do the testimonials actually sound real? Like from actual people? Can I picture myself in their shoes?
Is it easy to get in touch with the advisor? Or schedule a meeting? Does the whole experience feel like my time is being valued?
And if you are an advisor, maybe ask a few friends or colleagues to take a look at your website and give you some honest feedback. Sometimes a fresh perspective is all you need.
Absolutely. And remember, the online world, it's always changing. So it's important to stay up to date with, what's working, what's not, best practices, all that stuff.
So keep learning, keep exploring, and remember, a well-designed website can be a really powerful tool. It can build trust, connect with the right people, and ultimately help everyone achieve their financial goals.
I think that's a great way to put it. It's all about using technology to, build those human connections, make it all a little bit more personal.
And on that note, that wraps up another deep dive. We hope you enjoyed it and maybe learned a thing or two along the way.
Until next time, happy exploring.